Hey fellow fanatics, welcome to the second of 3 installments of draft selection shows on this Draft Selection Sunday. We just concluded the South Atlantic Draft Selection show with a whole bunch of hiccups. And up next we have the Gulf Coast Serpents. It is the first time that we've used this region in FSA history, and we're anxious to show you what it's all about. We'll be back in 20 seconds. Hey fellow fanatics, welcome to a special edition of the Fanatically Real broadcast. This afternoon, right now, 3 o'clock, we are going to be doing the Gulf Coast Serpents Draft Selection Show. How is everybody? MJ's out there and says, woot, here we go, Gulf Coast. Yeah, this is the first time that we've used Gulf Coast as a mascot. It just happened to work out that we had a lot of teams that were sitting in the South Atlantic and in the Southwest region. We tried to use that arch right there, right around the Gulf Coast, to bring teams in that were overflowing from both. Decided to use the region that's in between the two, which is the Gulf Coast Serpents, and that's where we're at right now. How is everybody? Eric is on with us. Eric just got done watching the draft for the South Atlantic, as did Rocky. Both of them got to see the shenanigans that happened. So let me be completely transparent, honest what happened with the last one. We ended up getting one of those rolls where we roll a 12-sided dice, and if the position is already filled, we replace it with the team that we pulled out of the hat. And we put the team on the board, pulled the team off the board that was getting replaced, but we never ended up putting that team back in the hat to get selected later on. We did not realize it until we had 2 spots left on the board, and we were pulling the last team out of the hat that was in there. So what we decided to do as a region was throw everybody back in and act like it never happened, even though we had already had one Snake Eyes, and we just went through it all over again. We were about 45 minutes into that one before that happened, and it was like we started all over again. So let's hope that we don't have the same thing. Everybody out there, keep me straight on this one. Now that I'm, thinking about it consciously, I'll make sure that if we're pulling somebody from the board, I make sure that they go back in the hat. We hadn't had a problem until the South Atlantic one. I don't know where my brain was at on that one. Poor Naughty Dogs. I'm sorry, Sean. Appreciate everybody hanging with us whenever we went through that, and thanks. So hey, before we get into it and before we do the parade of teams in the Gulf Coast region, follow us on all of our social media stuff down, website, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube channel. We're up to 60 on the YouTube channel now, so I appreciate everybody who's gone over and subscribed. If you have not subscribed to us, please go over and subscribe to us. We'd really appreciate it. Damien on with us. It says game time once again. So let's go through these parade of teams in the Gulf Coast region. As you can see, branded by the colors in the Gulf Coast region, which, if you didn't know, are Ohio State colors, and there's a reason for that. When we decided that we were going to do what used to be the Central Highlanders, I wanted that one to be Michigan colors, only because we had not used any kind of brand with blue and yellow in it yet. And then when we were trying to figure out what colors we were going to do for the Gulf Coast Serpents, we wanted it to match the creature that we have that region named after, which is the oarfish, is kind of the was the catalyst or the inspiration for that one. And it really is a red and a gray fish. So since we already had the Highlanders in the Michigan colors, and if you look at where the Central region is at in reference to where the Gulf Coast region is at, it's kind of like where Michigan and Ohio are in relationship to each other. So the colors that are in the Gulf Coast Serpents is Ohio State colors. Let's see, who else is out there? Game time once again. MJ says Chelsea is here. Let's go Psychedelic Seahorses. What time for the West Region? West Region, Eric, will be 6 o'clock East Coast time. Yes, Sleeper is a good mock draft site, Eric. In fact, we've already got one set up for us to do one later on this evening. I think there's a couple spots left. I don't know what spot you ended up getting put in with the South Atlantic draft that we just finished. Damien, put the link out there if you want and see if he can get put into the spot where he's at. Damien says everyone makes mistakes, just not let it happen again. Yeah, we got together last year and we did a bunch of mock drafts. Sleeper is the best. I did go through and look at the settings. Chris has got it set up exactly like what ours would be with the super flex and all the positions, everything like that. I didn't know that there was one out there that would actually handle it just like ours is. So awesome. I don't know that it's tight end premium based on the points that are there. So I don't know what that will do to ADPs for tight end position, but it's definitely set up as a super flex. So I'm getting in there in the I did earn the number one spot even after all the shenanigans. Not a spot that I want to draft from, but I'm there. I'm going to go in and do a couple mock drafts from that spot and see what happens. All right, so we're going to do just like we did with all of the other regions. We're going to do these in alphabetical order. The first one up in the parade of teams is 99 Problems and their general manager, Delona Balthrop. Delona came to us last year. She was part of that group that Brian Lewis and Todd Spencer and a couple of those other guys came to us from on the Kick Fantasy Football chat room that I was in. She came in last year, had a great season, had a little bit of a crazy hiccup right at the beginning in her first pick in the draft last year. Ended up with like Nick Chubb, I think at like the 7 or 8 spot. Still came away, as you can see the ribbon there in the corner of her logo, with the Southwest Regional Champion. She ended up going out in the first round of the World Championship bracket, still earned herself $100, and glad to have her back this year. Jason says, can I move regions? Why do you want to move regions, Jason? You don't want to be in the Great Lakes? The next one that we have in the parade of teams is Brady sits down to number 1 and general manager Kelvin Ringgold. Not a fan of Tom Brady, as you can tell. He's been with us for a couple of years now. Him and I met when we were at Fort Hood together. I was the Equal Opportunity Advisor for the Brigade. He was the Public Affairs NCO for the Brigade. I'm trying to think of what some of the other teams that is. Today Was a Good Day was one of his teams. Brady sits down at number 1, and that's what she said. Those are the 3 team names that he's had since he's been in. He's been with Brady sits down at number 1 now for a second year in a row. And you can see because of the combined regions that we have here as well, and some of these teams that were in the Southwest region last year got pushed up into the Central region and are now part of what is the Gulf Coast region. He is also a regional champion from last year, and that is the regional champion ribbon from the Central, now Nightmares. We changed the team name from the Highlanders to the Nightmares, I think 2 years ago. So, Kelvin, welcome back. And the Crab Island Hookers and general manager Lucy James is back with us again this year. And as you can see by the 2 gold stars there, she is a 2-time world champion. Back-to-back world champion, I might add. A huge force to reckon with. We are happy to have Lucy back with us again this year. Easily fell into the Gulf Coast region as her and her husband Rusty, who will come up in a little bit, are in the panhandle of Florida, right around Emerald Coast area. One of our new members of the year, Randy Boyd, came to us, is the Hurricanes Football Club, Hurricanes FC. He came to us, saw us posting some things on Facebook, and then actually reached out to me on Instagram to get more information, and that's where him and I first talked. He will be a rookie with this year, and lucky to have him as well. I'm glad that we have the conversations that we have right now, Randy, so appreciate you being here. David Hinkle in this year's Miami Inferno. Hinkle was with us for a couple years ago when he came in the league the first time as the Smilodons. And I think he ended up winning our first Alliance Invitational tournament, which we no longer have. We've changed that to our bowl game series now. The year after he won that, he changed his name to Black Sunday. I think he played with us as Black Sunday for 2 years and then took a little time away and then came back. So his first year with us was 2016. Glad to have him back. He is also in the Dynasty Leagues with us this year. And I think David signed up for the Arm and Leg League. I'm not sure. Either way, we've got him in quite a few leagues this year. David, welcome back. Labradors. and their general manager, Hunter Garth, is new to Fantasy Sports Alliance. Not to fantasy football, though. Has been playing fantasy football for quite a while. When I was a first sergeant of Alpha Company 62nd War, I was Fort Hood. Hunter Garth was one of my platoon leaders there, one of the LTs that was there. I've been asking for him to play with us every year since then. Finally got him convinced and got him to sign up this year, so I'm very happy to have him. So, Lieutenant Garth, welcome. Nature Coast Colonials and their general manager, Brandon Valinka, who is also the owner of Nature Coast Tailgating, the hat that I am wearing right now, and also our sponsor of our World Bowl Championship this year. Brandon and Nature Coast Tailgating will be giving away a custom set of full-sized cornhole boards and bags to our world champion this year. This will be Brandon's second year. Got a chance to meet him when I was down for a face-to-face with him and to pick up my own FSA cornhole boards last year. And then on our trip back, I ended up meeting with Brandon Prince from... Oh, wait a minute. That was a different trip, wasn't it? Brandon Prince we ended up meeting when we were leaving the get-together that we had with the VRV. Brandon Valinka was a trip all on his own. Got to go down and hang out with Cheryl for the weekend, dip across the other side of Florida, and got to meet Nature Coast. And, wow, we got Brandon back, and he said he wanted to do this for us, and we can't thank him enough. So I can't wait for putting together what the layout is going to look like for the World Champion this year. It should be super awesome no matter who wins. Rookie this year, who just popped up. Hey, Addison on with us as well. How are you? Randy on with us as well. Jason, does it sound any better? And you still haven't told me why you want to change regions. Another rookie with us this year, Chelsea Thurman and the Psychedelic Seahorse. You know what I never did ask? Do you want to just leave it as Seahorse? Or do you want to add an S to it, be Horses? I don't even know if that's correct or not. But she came to us by way of MJ Cooley, who is in the South Atlantic region with us, who is also the Siren Southern Sugar Scrub owner. She brought Chelsea over to us. This will be a rookie year for her. I believe also her first year that she's ever played fantasy football. Chelsea, you have to let me know if that's correct or not. I see Kevin Godwin just got on as well. Kevin, how are you? A new team to us, but not a new name. The name Rough Riders has been around in the FSA for quite a few years. That team did not return, however. Robert Driscoll did not come back this year. And we have a new Rough Riders, and it is Jared Balthrop, who is the son of Delona Balthrop, the very first team that we introduced during this parade of teams. I talked to Delona. She said this is not her son's first time playing fantasy football. He has been playing for quite a few years now. This is just his first time with FSA. So just so everybody knows, he is not a rookie when it comes to fantasy football, just with FSA. It's a favorite sugar scrub psychedelic seahorse. That is the name of one of your sugar scrubs, isn't it? So we're going to leave it without the S. Is that correct? Let me know that. The husband of the two-time world champion Lucy James is Rusty James in the Rum Runners. Rusty's been playing with us since 1999. He has gone through a couple of different brands. The Rum Runners has stuck the last couple of years. Rusty is always really, really good when he comes and plays with us. He just always has to get beat up by his wife, which makes it tough for him to be able to get into the playoffs. Let's hope that changes for him this year. Rusty, thank you for coming back for, geez, if I can do the math right, that's year 21 with us now, man. I really appreciate it. The Vols and Matt Brown. So very appreciative to have Matt Brown back again this year, especially after he kind of got screwed by a playoff tiebreaker rule last year. We are changing that tiebreaker rule this year. It shouldn't really apply anyways, because there will be no head-to-head matchups where we'll be 2-0 with anybody or 1-1 since you only play everybody once. But Matt Brown and I have known each other since basic training over 18 years ago. Not only were we in basic training together, we were right here at Fort Gordon together as AIT students. When we graduated, he went to Fort Hood and I went to Fort Campbell. We lost touch with each other for quite a few years. We recently got back in touch, asked him if he wanted to come play fantasy football with us, and he's been with us for a couple of years. Seahorse is fine. Chelsea's there. Hey, Chelsea, how are you? So we will go with Psychedelic Seahorse, no S, which is how I've got it right now. Good, that's what we'll do. And then the last team in our parade of teams is the Warriors and Bill Costa. Bill and I know each other from my time at Fort Hood as the Equal Opportunity Advisor for the Brigade, as he was the Equal Opportunity Advisor for the entire 3 Corps. He was my go-to whenever I had any questions during my time as the EOA. Asked him one day if he played fantasy football, and he said yes, and he jumped on board. Bill's been playing with us since 2016, so this will be his, 16, 17, 18, 19. This will be his 5th year with us. So Bill, appreciate it. Welcome back. Love the logo. Some of you have seen over the years when we've actually put these brands together, when we do the whole jersey and uniform together and stuff like that with the helmet. This is one of my favorite ones to put together. It is the blue from the infantry on the helmet with that logo on it with a white face mask. It just looks excellent. One of my favorite ones that's out there. All right. So what we're going to do now is we are going to fold up each one of the teams that I just announced for the parade of teams. We are going to put them in the 25th anniversary Walter hat. We're going to make sure all 12 make it into the hat and all 12 get back into the hat, or whenever they need to go back in the hat when teams get replaced this time, so we don't have the same issue that we had in the South Atlantic region. For those that are new out here that have not seen this done before, like Randy, Chelsea, I don't know if Hunter's out there watching, and I'm not sure if Jared's out there or not either. I think Chelsea's probably watched these earlier today, or maybe MJ's forced her to watch it so she knows what this looks like. So what we're going to do is we're going to shake the hat up. We're going to pull a name out of the hat, and we're going to roll a 12-sided die. That is what you see in the right side of those 2 screens there in the middle. That 12-sided die, whatever number comes up, that is the spot that we put the first team on the board in. After that team is on the board, then we will roll the 2 6-sided dice that's on the left-hand side of the screen that we call the action dice. The action dice correspond, the total of those 2 6-sided dice correspond to a total that's right below me right now, and that is the action that we will do to the board based on that dice roll. And we will continue to do that until the board is full. Once the board is full, we will roll the dice one more time to see if it messes with the board at all. And it is a surprise for Chelsea. Oh, so Chelsea has not seen this today. All right, cool. Is she over at the house with you, or is she just watching on her own device right now? So some of those ones that you see there on the board that you might have questions about, especially the snake eyes, that says start over or lock team. So Brian Lewis from the Great Lakes region, whose birthday is today, happy birthday again, Brian, to you, came up with a suggestion after we had 2 snake eyes show up during the Alpha Defunct Dynasty Draft Selection Show, that after it happens once, that maybe we should lock the team just like we do in the number 11 spot. So that's what we do when we get a second one now, is we lock that team. And what does locking a team mean? If we roll 111, or if we roll that lock team after the snake eyes the first time, once that team is locked on the board, no matter what happens to the board, whether it flips, whether everybody moves up and down, whether we get another snake eyes, or we get a snake eyes after we've got somebody on the lock, that person is locked into that position, and they will not come off the board no matter what. So let's get this hat shook up. Let's get our first team pulled out. Are you over there? She's over at your house? That's cool. Good. You can explain this to her as we're going along. So the first team to go on the board is going to be, look at that. It's going to be Chelsea and Psychedelic Seahorse. And we're going to roll the 12-sided dice and figure out where we're going to put you. You are going to go into the number 2 spot. Let's get you on the board. Let's move you over into the number 2 spot. And let's roll some action dice. Only one team on the board. We roll a number 6. It swaps positions with 2d12. So what we do here is we add a second 12-sided dice. We roll that. The 2 numbers that are there will flip-flop because the board is very, very light right now. If we happen to roll a 2, Chelsea will move into another spot. We'll see what happens. Rolling a 7 and a 4, and nobody are in those spots. So we will go ahead and roll the action dice again. Number 8 means we are going to roll a d12 until a spot opens up. So we have to pull a team out of the hat, but we've got to clear the board to make it 1d12 instead. And the next team out of the hat is Labradors, and Hunter Garth. Let's see where we're going to put him. He is going to go into the number 7 spot. Let's get him turned on the board. And move him to the number 7 spot. Then let's roll the action dice. Number 6 means we are going to swap positions with the 2d12. So unless we roll a 2 or a 7, nobody will move. Oops, I need 2 12-sided dice. Don't count that one. 2 12-sided dice. We roll a 2 and a 12. Chelsea, you are moving from the number 2 spot down to the number 12 spot. Also, still not a bad spot to be, as you'll see very quickly as this board moves around. Even from the number 12 spot, you can end up in the number 1 spot, so not a bad spot to be. Let's throw some action dice. Action dice says number 7. We're going to roll a d12 until we fill the board or put somebody on the board. Next team out is going to be 99 Problems and Delona Balthrop. We're going to put her in the number 5 spot. 99 Problems going to number 5. And we're going to roll action dice. Number 8 means that we're going to roll a d12 until a position is filled. We have to pull another team out of the hat. Team we are pulling out of the hat is the Nature Coast Colonials and Brandon Valenka, who is also the owner of Nature Coast Tailgating, our World Championship Bowl sponsor this year. We are going to put him in the number 2 spot where the Psychedelic Seahorse just left. Let's get him turned on and move him over to the number 2 spot. And let's roll the action dice. Number 5, we're going to roll a d12 until a spot opens up. We got to get another team out of the hat. I see that my watch is buzzing. You guys are over there talking in the group me chat room. What's going on over there? Let me know what's happening, since I can't bounce back and forth between everything. Next one is David Hinkle from the Inferno. We're going to roll a dice until we get David up on the board. We're going to put him on the number 4 spot. Put him right there. Miami Inferno. Great logo, great logo. And we're going to roll the action dice. 12. This means the whole board is going to flip. And Chelsea, this is just what I was talking about. So everybody basically reverses positions. Imagine the board being a board and flip it around just like this. This is what happens. 12 becomes 1. 2 becomes 11. 4 becomes 9. 5 becomes 8. And 7 becomes 6. And the Seahorse are now in the number 1 spot. Let's roll some action dice. How is the mock draft filling up right now, MJ? Number 10 means that we will roll a d12 and we will replace the team if the position is already filled. And this is where we got screwed up earlier. So make sure that if I roll a 1, 6, 8, 9, or 11, and we're putting this next team that comes out of the hat on the board, make sure that I put the team that they are replacing back in the hat. We are going to put the Crab Island Hookers and Lucy James on the board. She is going to go into the number 8 position. So we are going to turn the Hookers on. We're going to move her to the number 8 spot. We're going to move 99 Problems out of that spot and silence them again. And then we are going to move the Hookers down. And we are going to take 99 Problems and we are going to put them back in the hat. So we do not forget to do that. 99 Problems, so everybody sees it. 99 Problems is going back in the hat. And we're going to roll some action dice. Number 6 means we are going to swap positions with 2d12. Let's add 2 dice on there. And we are going to be moving the number 1 and the number 10. Chelsea, you are moving all over the board. You were at number 1. Now you are at the number 10 spot. And roll some more action dice. Number 7 means that we're going to roll a d12 until a spot is open. Well, 10 was open, but not anymore. We are now going to put Jared Balthrop with the Rough Riders on the board. We just have to get an open spot for him. He will be going into the number 1 spot now. Why can't I find his team name on here all of a sudden? There he is, Rough Riders. Let's move him over into the number 1 spot. And let's roll some action dice. Number 7 means we're going to roll a D12 until a position is open. Spots left open are 2, 3, 4, 5, and 7 and 12. 99 Problems getting ready to go back on the board. We just put her son on the board. Let's see where we're going to put Delona. She is going to go into the number 7 spot, which is open. And we're going to roll action dice. Number 7 means we're going to roll a D12 until a spot is opened up. We got 2, 3, 4, 5, and 12. So 5 spots left open. 5 teams left in the hat. We are putting Bill Costa and the Warriors on the board. Bill is going to go into the number 9 is Phil. We roll again. Number 10 is Phil. We roll again. Oh, that was an 8. Number 1 is filled. Number 5, Warriors are going to go into the number 5 spot. Bill, there you are in the number 5 currently. Let's roll action dice. Number 6 means we're going to roll 2 D12s and swap positions. Got a pretty full board right now. Some people might swap around. We're going to be changing the 5 and the 3. We just put Bill on the board. He is moving up to the number 3 spot. And we're going to roll some more action dice. Oh, you mean spots are left on the sleeper mock draft. Okay, gotcha. 4, 5, 9, 10, and 12. Okay, good to know. Action dice says number 9, which means we are going to swap 2 D12s. We just got done moving Bill up from the 5 to the 3. Let's see who we move now. We are moving the number 1 to the number 5 spot. So Jared Balthrop is moving from 1 down to number 5. And we're going to roll action dice. Number 5, we're going to roll a D12 and put them on the board. We have 1, 2, 4, and 12 left. Let's see who we're going to put on the board next. We are putting Brady sits down to number 1, Kelvin Ringgold. Kelvin, we are going to put you in the number 1 spot. Brady sits down to number 1 in the number 1 spot currently. That number 1 spot has had a lot of action tonight. Let's roll some action dice. Number 7 means we will roll a D12 until a spot is filled. We have 3 spots left, 2, 4, and 12. We are pulling out Hurricanes and Randy Boyd. I think this is the first time we've pulled you out, right? So this is the first time you're going to see the board. You're going to end up in 2, 4, or 12. Could take us a while to roll this number. Oh, maybe not. First roll gets us 12, which actually still is not a bad spot to have in this the style that we do this, because that 12 can quickly become number 1. Let's put you there. Throw some action dice. Action dice says number 8. We're going to roll a D12 until a spot opens. We got 2 teams left in the hat. We got 2 spots, 2 and 4. Where it's going to take us a while probably to roll to get 2 or 4. But in one of those 2 spots currently is going to be the Vols and Matt Brown. Let's give him 2 or 4. Almost a 4. There it is, 4. The Vols are going into the number 4 spot currently. And we're going to roll some action dice. Action dice say number 9. I'm going to swap positions with 2D12. Board is very, very full right now. Should be interesting. We are changing number 7 and number 10. Chelsea, you are moving up to the number 7 spot. Delona, you are moving from 7 to 10. Make that a little bit prettier. Now we're going to roll the action dice. One spot remaining. Number 10 means we're going to roll a d12 and replace the team if the position is already filled. There's only one team left in the hat. That is Rusty James and the Rum Runners. He has not been on the board yet. We're going to roll a single 12-sided die. If that number comes up, he will replace the team that is in that position. If we happen to roll a 2, he will go into the number 2 spot. Rolling number 12. Randy, like I told you, never be safe. You're just never safe until this thing is over. So what we're going to do is we're going to turn the Rum Runners on. We're going to move him into the number 12 spot. We're going to end up moving the Hurricanes Football Club out. We're going to shut the Hurricanes Football Club off up there in the corner. And you will go back in the hat right now. And the reason we're putting you in the hat, even though you'll be the only one that's in there in case somebody else joins you. So you are going back in the hat right now. And we will roll an action dice to see what happens next. 8, which means we would roll a d12 until a spot is open. So you just got moved from the number 12 to the number 2 spot because of all of that happening. And now that the board is full, we will have one more roll to go to see what it does to this board. We have no teams currently locked. Let's see what happens. 8 means we're going to roll a d12 until a position is filled. All of the positions are already filled. There is your draft order for the Gulf Coast Serpents. Your draft will take place next Sunday at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, East Coast time. Make sure you are here. That will be live on MFL. I will be there to referee all of the drafts on Saturday and Sunday. This is the draft order. If you still have not signed into the MFL page, and I think both Jared and Delona Balthrop have not signed into the MFL page, please go over and do that. Also, if you are a part of the Arm and Leg League and you have not signed in over there either, please go sign in over there as well. We're missing a few more people over there. We were going to be doing their draft selection shows on Wednesday during the broadcast, but we're going to need help figuring out how we're going to break those two regions up, and we need people to sign up to make that happen. This is the draft order. MJ, if you're out there, please take a picture of it and put it on GroupMe. And then, because I have plenty of time before the next draft selection show, which is going to happen at 6 o'clock East Coast time, we will be doing the draft selection show for the West, which does not have a nickname yet, but I think the guys are working on it. Nature Coast says, check your phone. I text you. Let me see what he says. Well, I got you all live. Have 1D, 12D, whoever number pops up gets a Nature Coast hat. That is awesome. So Brandon just sent me a text from Nature Coast Tailgating that says, at the end, when everyone is set, roll one 12-sided dice, and whoever's number pops up is going to get a Nature Coast hat, just like the one that I've got right here. Let me roll that, and we see who is going to get that hat, and then I will make sure, Brandon, that I get a mailing address for you for that person. That way you can get the hat to them. All right, let's see who is going to get the Nature Coast Tailgate hat. Man, that's awesome. I appreciate you. That hat is going to go to number 2. Man, Randy, moving out of that number 12 spot up to the number 2 spot just worked out perfectly for you. Even better, Brandon, I don't think he's that far from you, so mailing's not going to cost you a lot to get it there. But I will get you an address. So, Randy, congratulations. You are going to get one of these Nature Coast Tailgating hats. And again, Brandon, thank you, man. That's pretty awesome. I really appreciate it. So let's see. Eric says, let's go with Gadget Guys for this year with me. So we have a team name for the selection show. Eric has decided that he's going to pick Gadget Guys, which he loves that type of guy. Whenever it comes to fantasy and players on a team, kind of like Tariq Cohen and guys like that. So he is a gadget guy kind of person. So that will be his team name, and you will see his team be part of the West draft selection show at 6 p.m. East Coast time here, which will be coming up in about 2.5 hours. So that ends it. I think MJ said that she already got a screenshot of the draft order. Because we have some time, I will set the draft order up on MFL here shortly, so you'll be able to see that. You all will get an email from that as well saying that it's there. And yeah, if you all want to come back and watch the shenanigans again, we will be back here at 6 o'clock East Coast time, and we will see you then.